I want you to imagine that you are a magnet and that through the ether of the universe, you are radiating this powerful magnetic signal out from the core of your soul. And this signal is always attracting back to you your ideal romantic partners, your soulmates, your twin flame, if you identify as a twin flame. Or if you don't really resonate with the idea of soulmates or being a twin flame, this could simply be your ideal romantic partner, or even a specific person that you are romantically interested in and would like to pursue a romantic relationship with. So now imagine that as this magnetic force is pulling these ideal partners, these ideal romantic relationships into your life, something steps out in the middle of that magnetic force field and causes it to entirely de-magnetize. So essentially, because of this de-magnetizing obstacle between you and your ideal partners or ideal relationships, you would be led to believe that you were either unlovable or incapable of attracting the kind of love you truly desire. Neither of these beliefs about yourself are true. You are so worthy of being with an ideal partner, a soulmate, your twin flame. And not only that, but you are highly magnetic for these connections. They would naturally be pulled into your life with a force as strong as gravity itself if it wasn't for this obstacle that was demagnetizing your energy field. So in this video, I am going to be sharing with you what that obstacle is. The number one reason you are blocking your ideal partners, your soulmates, or even your twin flame from coming into your life, or rather being drawn magnetically into your life. I'm going to be teaching you the number one secret to attracting love. Not just any form of love, not the dysfunctional, unfulfilling kind of love you may have experienced in the past, but true, deep, authentic, soul level, mind, body, soul, fulfilling love. The kind of love you were born into this earth for the purpose of experiencing and cultivating through your romantic relationships. But before we get into that, let me introduce myself. My name is Infinity, and this is Magnetize Yourself, where we talk about life, love, spirituality, and of course, the law of attraction. I also just wanted to share with you guys that in addition to creating these podcasts, I am also a subliminals creator. On my website, Sound and Soulful, I've created a library of over 100 subliminal affirmations tracks for all areas of life. As you can see on the screen, I've created subliminals for body changes, appearance changes, for the manifestation of specific material goals, such as your dream house, your ideal relationship, even a specific amount of money. And when it comes to love and relationships, I've created several very powerful subliminals designed to assist you in either manifesting or attracting your ideal person, in attracting or deepening your relationship with your twin flame if you do consider yourself to be a twin flame. But specifically for those of you who came to this video feeling as though you are experiencing this block I set up at the beginning of this podcast, feeling or intuitively connecting with that idea that you are magnetically attracting these soulmates, these ideal partners into your life, but somehow some mental obstacle, some energetic obstacle is taking away, detracting from that magnetic power of your energy. Your feeling of intuition that this connected with you is a sign. I always say that your intuition is the compass of your soul, guiding you to everything you need along your spiritual life journey. So if that resonated with you, I would highly recommend a very specific subliminal for clearing blockages within the heart chakra. I'll get into more on this later, but it's the heart center, the heart chakra, where we store these subconscious negative patterns and beliefs regarding love and relationships. I have created a heart chakra activation subliminal that is incredibly powerful for completely uprooting and clearing away these negative blockages and belief patterns within the heart chakra that are then manifesting as these obstacles and barriers between you and the love you truly desire and deserve to experience. For more information on this heart chakra activation subliminal, check the pinned comment under this video or the description box. Now, let's dive right in to discussing the number one reason you are blocking love from entering your life. And I specifically say blocking love and not blocking a person, because love is an energy. We often tend to tie the concept of love, this abstract concept, to a specific person or relationship. In doing this, we forget that love is a certain kind of energy and that all forms of love energy build on one another. What I mean by this is when you have or when you cultivate love in one area of your life, you are then able to build the momentum of love and attract more love energy into all other areas of your life. So for example, if you have a lot of love for your career, for what you do, let's say that your career involves helping other people, and you have a lot of love and passion for these people, these clients, and for assisting them. This love energy infused into your business endeavors will then also manifest in all other areas of your life. So simply infusing more love into your business life will attract more love into your romantic life as well. And the same is true for any area of life. So even if you begin to deepen and amplify your love for yourself, and in fact, especially when you infuse more self-love into your life, you will magnify the love you experience in all other areas of life. Which brings me to the number one obstacle, this de-magnetizing force that causes you to lose all of your magnetic power when it comes to love and relationships. This is the presentation of a false self, or in other words, a lack of total self-love. Your soulmates, your twin flame, any of these romantic soul connections, we tend to put on a pedestal and talk about as though they are extremely difficult to attract. But the truth is, these are the easiest relationships and connections for you to attract, but only when you are in your most authentic state. So let me elaborate on this point. Prior to incarnating in this lifetime, you created soul contracts. Within these soul contracts, you determined when and how the circumstances and the journey of these meetings and connections with your soulmates and with your twin flame, if you are a twin flame. These connections are meant to happen for you. And because of this, because of these soul contracts, you naturally magnetize these connections into your life. So where do people go so wrong? If these connections are supposed to be naturally magnetized to us, why do so many of us struggle to either attract a soulmate or a twin flame to begin with? Or especially in the case of a twin flame, why do so many of us attract our perfect divine counterpart only to experience this push and pull within these relationships that makes it impossible or seemingly impossible for us to maintain a 3D physical relationship with them? The reason for this is simple. It's because when we created these soul contracts, we knew that we would recognize one another by our authentic energy, our authentic selves. So in our natural state, in our authentic state, we would magnetize these soulmates and our twin flame, whatever the case may be. They would come into our life and we would share this brilliant, beautiful relationship with them. However, we aren't born to nourish ourselves, to love ourselves within our natural state. We are born in a largely broken society that trains us away from our natural state, that teaches us in many different ways and forms that we, in our most authentic state, are unlovable in some way. As a result, we create a false self, a false identity. We may reinforce this false identity over and over again until we actually believe this is who we really are. This is what we call living in the ego. We create this ego self, this false self, based on other people's expectations, society's expectations, usually beginning in childhood with what our parents expected of us or expected us to be. We construct this false self based on all of those external expectations, and in the process, we reject certain aspects of ourself. So what's the result of this? Over time, when those aspects of ourself have been rejected consciously enough times, they become absorbed into the subconscious mind, which means they become part of what we call the shadow self. And by shadow self, I simply mean the parts of yourself that are outside the light of your own consciousness. In other words, those parts of yourself that you are completely unaware of because you have rejected them over and over until they became absorbed into your subconscious. Now let's circle back to what I touched on earlier in the video. Remember, your soulmates, your twin flame, these romantic soul connections are attracted to you magnetically, but only in your authentic state. So what happens when we learn to reject certain parts and pieces of that authentic self and present this false self to the world is that we lose our magnetism for these soul connections. In other words, your soulmate, your ideal partner, your twin flame cannot choose you as long as you are not choosing you. Or more specifically, when you are picking and choosing different aspects of yourself you consider to be acceptable enough by society to love and rejecting other aspects of yourself without ever facing, acknowledging, or embracing them, you become de-magnetized and find yourself unable to attract not only your soulmates and your twin flame, but really any truly meaningful romantic relationship at all. Instead, you find yourself pulled back into these karmic patterns and cycles because as long as you are presenting this false self, rejecting aspects of your authentic self, you are, without realizing it, re-wounding your own self over and over again. Every time you present that false ego-based self to the world, you reject those shadow aspects to yourself, those parts of you that if you have been rejecting from childhood that probably your parents rejected to begin with, you continue this cycle of rejection and self-wounding unconsciously. And so all you can attract as a result of that wounding are others who mirror your wounds, who are attracted to you based on a false self, who perhaps even have deep wounds of their own, and then your wounds fit with them like puzzle pieces, and energetically, that feels to you like a kind of attraction because your forms of self-wounding just seem to align so perfectly that the energy of that situation, of that alignment, actually causes you to feel a false sense of attraction to these karmic partners, karmic patterns in your life. When you aren't truly in love with these people at all, you aren't attracted to these people, but you are attracting them because what you are actually doing is feeling an attraction to a pattern, to a negative pattern that will continue playing out in your life over and over again until you choose to acknowledge it and heal it. So the number one secret to re-magnetizing your energy for love in all areas of your life, and specifically for attracting those deeper, more meaningful soul connections, is ironically to shift your focus from those external connections to what is going on within you, to begin to ask yourself questions. What parts of myself have I rejected and why? When were these parts of myself first rejected? Why do I feel the need to present a false self, an inauthentic self to others in this way? The more you begin to express your authentic self, your integrated self, both the parts of you, the ego parts of you that are within the light of your consciousness, and those that have been outside the light of your consciousness, those shadow aspects, the more you integrate your shadow self into your conscious self through addressing and healing the wounds of your inner child, the more you re-magnetize your energy field for your romantic soulmates and for your twin flame, for these soul connections that we so deeply long to attract. And the beautiful thing about participating in this inner healing work, this self-healing journey, is that not only will you attract these people into your life, but when you meet them, you will be able to recognize one another. Because the other thing is, until you heal these shadow aspects to yourself, until you learn to love yourself truly unconditionally and to integrate your shadow self into your conscious self, until you do this, even if you met a soul connection or a twin flame, you either wouldn't recognize each other because one or both of you is presenting this false self, or when you did meet, if you did recognize each other, the relationship wouldn't work out in the physical world because you've constructed this whole world, this whole self based on inauthenticity. The true key to not only attracting but maintaining these soul connection relationships is to begin to wholeheartedly accept, embrace, love yourself, and fearlessly radiate that authentic energy. Only when you radiate your authentic self, when you live and act as the person you know at the core of your soul that you are, only then do you become a beacon of light that will draw in soul connections, even platonic soul connections, your soul tribe, as well as those romantic soul connections into your life, just as a lighthouse may beckon in ships on the water. You become a beacon for these kinds of deep, meaningful connections. But it takes a lot of courage to begin doing this. And again, many of these patterns are very deeply seated. They come from early childhood and they become absorbed into the subconscious, deeply stored in the unconscious parts of our brain. This is why I so highly recommend my heart chakra activation subliminal, because subliminals by design address those subconscious patterns within the mind. They are affirmations embedded within other sounds and frequencies, so that although the conscious mind can't hear the messages, they make deep, lasting impressions on the subconscious mind, which it's truly the subconscious mind that is reflected in our energy and that attracts back to us the kinds of love we receive or block within our romantic relationships. So again, my heart chakra activation subliminal will be linked in the pinned comment and the description box. When you create a 7-day free trial account on my website, you can access this heart chakra activation, as well as all of the more than 100 subliminals I've created completely free. Thank you so much for listening to this podcast. I really hope it resonated with you and assisted you along this difficult yet so rewarding self-healing journey, learning to look within for the answers rather than externalizing them, truly beginning to love ourselves, to shower ourselves with the love that perhaps we didn't receive from key caregivers in our life. You can make that decision. You can choose to love yourself and to care for yourself in the ways you desperately needed to, but were not loved and cared for as a child. You can choose to heal your inner child, and by doing so, allow your adult self to manifest and live out your childhood dreams and desires, because those dreams you had that were probably rejected by others were there for a reason. They were there because you were seeing a premonition of a possible future, a future you were destined to live. So I hope that through this channel, I can inspire you, can reawaken you to your own inner knowing, your own intuition, to help you remember some of what your soul's intentions were before you were born here in this earth. If I did resonate with you, please subscribe to this channel. Join our community of like-minded, conscious, creative beings here on YouTube. Have a wonderful rest of your day, and I'll talk to you again in the next podcast.